to send out to everybody on the team the link and your homework or whatever you want us to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. You're awesome. All right. Thought it good. I'm going to go on mute.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think Miss Bonnie just joined us as well. And so I want to make sure that both Bonnie and Crystal, you two can hear me okay, right?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect. All right. Miss Bonnie, can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Oh, there she is. Wonderful. Well, this will be fun. It's just a couple of us in here, and so we can get as down and dirty as you want. So it's a little bit of a long presentation, but because it's Powtoons, I wanted to, I literally just broke it down step by step. And so it might seem like a lot, but it's really not once you start getting in there, because I'm a show me kind of person. So with that being said, this is using Powtoons, and I did it in Prezi. So here we go, and I'll tell you why in a little while. So what we're going to do today, we're going to be talking about, of course, what is Powtoon. I'm going to show you a couple examples throughout my presentation, and then we're just gonna dive right in, and we're gonna, how do you log in? How do you create some of that awesomeness? What are the templates and style and things that are available to you to create something that's really awesome and magical? And then we're gonna put it together, and we're actually gonna see a video of what we put together in our session today, and then of course we can work on your homework project from there. Can you all see my screen okay? Can you see my slides?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, so Powtoon, what is it? It's a web-based animation software, and so it's so cool because you can manipulate any pre-created object. Okay, so whether it's a template, which we'll talk about, or if it's something that you have designed, or your video, your images, whatever, you can import those and you can turn them into a living video, and you can animate some of these things, and it's really just so cool. And then you can also provide music for your video, or you can even create voiceovers, and so you can really get as creative as this, really the sky is the limit on how creative you can get. So with that said, let's just see a quick little example of one I put together. I think this was at the New Year that I put this one together. Okay. And hopefully you all can hear it once it starts. All right, so I just want to make sure you two can hear the music on the video.
I can.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'll let it go. And that's it. And so within 2 minutes, we got a whole bunch of information out to the families that was presented in a creative style. The music was upbeat. We had Happy New Year in there. We had, this is what you have to do to succeed. This is, and this is how you contact me, all within 2 minutes. And, like I said, you can just be as creative as possible. And you can reuse templates as well. And so that's just another thing that I love about it. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right. And so if you don't have a Powtoons account, and of course you don't have to take any notes because this is obviously going to be recorded, or is being recorded, but you'll also, I'll be able to walk you through it at any point. But when we get started, this is, the link that we're going to, and it's powtoon.com. And if you don't have an account, you'll want to, of course, sign up. Okay. I think I can't remember if I used my azva.org email or if I used my Ovalle Fast at K-12 Google email, but either one is fine, okay? And, and then you just answer the questions, and it's just a simple sign-up process for the free account, and everything that we're talking about is free, okay? You don't want to pay for any of this because there's so many options for the free account. All right, so after that, we're just going to click on the login. We're going to go to our account. Okay, so once you're in, you're going to see any Powtoons that you've already created. Okay, and normally that's at the bottom of your screen. It's going to say My Powtoons, and it'll just give you a list of all the things that you've created and saved within Powtoons. You can go back and preview any of them that you've already created. You can edit what you've already seen. You can make a copy of it so that you can change it up. Sometimes I just make a copy and I'll put someone else's name on it so that they can use it for their students. I've done that a few times. So it's just really, it's just a neat program. It truly is. Okay. All right. So now we're going to create some awesomeness. And here is one of my favorite pieces of awesomeness. This is a template, okay? And I talked about at the very beginning that, there are templates or you can create from scratch. This is one of my favorite templates within the Powtoons free section. And I've used this template a couple of times and I just absolutely love it. And so we're going to take a quick peek at it, and you too can have Mission Possible when you're creating your documents or your videos. One of my favorites for sure. So that's actually one of my favorites, as I said before. Love this template. The music is already included. All I had to do was add my words and add a couple images to make it my own. And like I said before, I've used this a few times for different things, and it's just so fun. Okay, so we're going to get started. So I do want to point out to you that when you log in, you're also going to see import PowerPoint. Okay, and I don't know how well you can see that. And if I need to increase the size of my screen, please let me know so that I can make that bigger for you. But this is in a beta test right now. So this is not actually available to us from the free account. So that's kind of a bummer, but eventually we're going to be able to upload a PowerPoint presentation, and it's going to kind of put things together for us, which is even cooler for those who don't fancy themselves as being, super creative. That might be something that's just really simple and dump it in there. But alas, not available to us yet. But you can see that we have lots of different templates that we can choose from. And it's all about finding your style, okay? So if I were to click on the template section, I went with, I kind of highlighted the cartoon section, and when you do that, you're going to see that there's a whole bunch of different themes within that style that you can go with, which is really cool. All right, and then of course there's just, so much more that you can go with. All right, getting down into the nuts and bolts of it. So now we're going to create a presentation together, okay? And so when you say create your Powtoon, I selected create a blank Powtoon so that we could just completely start from scratch. Some of the things that you want to notice when you are I'm trying to make my screen a little bit bigger here, but I don't know if that's going to work. One of the things that you want to notice is that you want to be, you can choose a template style. Okay, so I did choose the cartoon template style. Even though we're starting with a blank presentation, I was able to choose the template style of the cartoon that I wanted. The other thing you want to do is you want to title it, because when you log out, you're going to have a list of your Powtoons, and if you don't title it, they're all going to look the same. And then from this position here, you want to be in the create mode. Okay, so there's edit and create. Once you've completed your Powtoon, you can always go back in at another time and edit it. But for now, we want to create our Powtoon. Okay, so here we are. We're going to build slide 1. All right. So when we're deciding what we want our first slide to look like, you want to pick out which layout. And I want to use a template for my first slide. I can certainly go in and I can use the control panel tools, and I can completely create something out of the blue. But it's always easier, in my opinion, to start with a template and go from there. Okay, so you have intros, you have specifics, you have image grids, you have just a whole slew of ideas that you can work with when creating your slides. Okay, so I chose an introduction. In the beginning, there's always an introduction, right? So what I did was I clicked on the intros link, okay, under the cartoon template, and it gives me a whole bunch of different choices, and there's the scroll bar. I can scroll down and see what else is available, but I chose to go with this slide right here, this little red slide. And once I clicked on it, it automatically populated into our slide for us. So our slide is no longer blank. Our slide is now this this red template slide, and we can certainly add our information there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Oh, I do want to point out as well that some of the templates are not free. So, we have a free account, and it just gives us a little reminder that some of the templates are not free. And if we want to use those templates, we would, of course, have to pay for a subscription. Okay. But here, I want to manipulate my new slide, my new template. So I've added in, that I'm a K-5 advisor, and we're going to add in a subtitle. All right. And when you want to add in a subtitle, all you have to do is click on the text box and it highlights. Okay. Once it's highlighted, you can, type whatever you want to type. Once you're in there and you've typed up what you want to type, you can change it. You can change the font. You can change the size of the font. You can change, where do you want it? Do you want it centered? Do you want it to the right? Do you want it bold or underlined? You can change the color. You can change opacity. You can do so much with these templates to make them your own. And that's really cool, I think. All right, so here we go. I've added my name. And now this slide is an animated slide. Okay, so the template is already designed to be animated. So if we want to see what our slide looks like after we have completed all the components of personalizing it, we just click on this little arrow right here. And when we do that, the slide will play from beginning to end. And we'll talk about the timing at the very end. Okay, but for right now, we're going to just know that you can play the animated slide. And if there's something you like, or if the whole thing is perfect, great, you move on to the next slide. If not, you want to change things around. And this is a great way to just kind of keep an idea of what, you're doing and how it's looking for you. Okay. Moving right along. I always think of that Muppet song, moving right along, do, do, do. I'm sorry, I'm getting on a tangent there, but that's what I always think about, from the Muppet movie, was Fozzie Bear and Kermit the Frog singing Moving Right Along, and Fozzie Bear, Studebaker. I don't know if you've seen that. Maybe I'm dating myself, but anyway, so we're adding a new slide. Moving on. We're going to add a new slide, so we're just going to click on blank slide. It's going to automatically add a new slide for us. It's completely blank. Okay, so I'm going to go to my templates to add a new slide. And for this one, the previous one we did intros. Now I'm going to try specifics. So I'm going to click on that link and see what's available to me under specifics. All right, and this is what showed up. Some of the items that showed up. Remember, there's a scroll bar, and we can go down for further information. And remember, some we have to pay for, like this one right here with this yellow bubble. We would have to pay if we wanted to use that. So I went with this free happy birthday template. Okay, I clicked on it. It automatically populated onto my slide for me, and I can personalize it. So this is obviously happy birthday. I can upload a picture of the person that I want to say happy birthday to. I can add their name. I can change the color of the balloons in the presents. I can change the color of the background. I can change the stars and the confetti. We can do all of that, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So, all right, so let's just say that we've gone ahead and we've personalized it. So we've added a picture, we've added a name, and we're moving on. All right, so I've added a third slide just by clicking on the add slide. Okay, I went into a new section and grabbed a template for this happy anniversary picture. So this is what the whole thing looks like. I can certainly manipulate the text as I showed you before, but I've decided that I don't like the blue background for this part of the slide. So I'm going to swap it out. Okay, so I'm going to swap it for another picture. So when I click on swap, this box appears, okay? And it's telling me to pick another picture to swap that out with. So if I go into backgrounds, if I click on the background tool, it's going to give me a list of different subjects or areas that I can look at for different background templates. or I can upload my own template, or I can search a specific background to see if there's something. If I already know that I want to do autumn leaves, for example, I can type in autumn leaves and it'll search from all of its images to see if there's an autumn leaves available for me to use. I decided to go with the train. Okay, it's a free image. When I clicked on that, it automatically swapped out the blue background for this train. Now, if you'll notice in the train, the front of the train is on the right side of the image. And of course, we over here are on the left side of the image. So I don't want to see the back of the train. I want to see the front of the train in this image. So I'm going to click on my little settings gear. Okay. And it flipped, it gave me the option to flip. Okay, so I clicked on the settings gear. It gives me this list of options. I want to flip my picture. So now I flipped my picture, and now I have the front of the train showing as opposed to the end of the train showing. And that's pretty freaking cool in my opinion. From here, I'm just kind of showing you that you can change the color of the balloon. So we can still edit this. We can still make changes as well. So this is all in layers. Every layer can be changed. Okay, so I just clicked on the pink balloon and it shows me that I can swap out this balloon for another image if I wanted to. I can flip the balloons around so I can have the pink one in the background and the red one in the fore. Or I can change the color if I want to by clicking on the settings. So there's so many things that you can do, little nuances that make it personalized for you. And I'm going to tell you, if you've never used Powtoons before, it can be overwhelming. And with all the different layers, you know, you might say to yourself, oh my gosh, this is too much. You know, I can't handle this. So, you know, the great beauty about this is you can just use the template, fill in the words, and move on. Or you can personalize it and create it to your heart's content. That is really special about this program. All right, so let's go ahead and add another slide. All right, so this time, all I did was click on the plus sign. I added my new slide, and I've decided not to use a template for this slide. I'm going to create everything that I want on this slide, okay? So the first thing that I did was I wanted to add, you know, a fun little picture. Now, it's not an image, but it's a fun little, I don't know what you call it, just a fun little capture of different little graphic images. There you go, a graphic image. Okay, and so I went with the little laptop, and when you click on the graphic that you want to include, it's going to populate right in the center of the slide. Okay, and I moved it, I just picked it up and dragged it and moved it off to the corner of the slide. The other part about this that I want to show you is when you're creating your own slide from scratch, it's really good to turn on the grid, okay? And I hope you all can see that. But when you turn on the grid, that allows you to line things up perfectly. So if I chose to put another graphic in here, let's say I put 2 laptops in here, and I wanted to have them equidistant from the 2 corners so that they, you know, they line up. I can use the grid to line that up so that they, you know, they're exactly 2 squares away from the corner and 2 squares away from this corner. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so here it is. Here's my grid. Okay, I've gone ahead and moved on to adding some words. So I've, you know, I'm clicking on the little text icon. It automatically populates in the center of the screen. Everything will populate in the center of the screen, and you get to, you know, you just click on it and drag it. You can turn it upside down if you wanted to turn it upside down, make it bigger. just like any other text box or any other image you would do for PowerPoint or any other program, you can manipulate it, okay? So we've highlighted the word, and we're going to type in whatever it is that we're going to type in. And remember, we can change the font, we can change the size, we can change the color, where it's located, how opaque it is. Okay, we can add effects to it if we want each letter to bounce in separately. We can do that, all right? All right, so I've typed in how are we doing, all right, and I moved it up into the laptop to create a fun little image like the computer is talking to us. I've added easy so far, yes or no. Kind of a pulse check right here in the middle of our presentation. But you'll notice that I made everything a different color. I've used a different font for everything. I've used my grid to line up the E and the O so these two separate text messages or text boxes line up perfectly, right? And I also want to include a text bubble. So when we're in our text, you'll see that this is one of the templates that is available. So now I'm going to start adding some templates in here. All right, so when I clicked on that text bubble link, a whole bunch of different options showed up, and I chose this red balloon with the dots. Okay, now keep in mind, and I used my grid to put it exactly where I wanted it. You can change the words, you can change the color, you can change the style, you can change the color of the bubble itself, you can change the color of the outline of the bubbles if you want to. And you can do them each individually because they're all layered on top of each other, which is super cool. So each of these little dots could be a different color if I wanted them to be in a different color. And once I have the slide looking the way that I want it to look, I just simply click on the grid button again and remove the grid. And so this is our slide. Okay? And if you all need me to go back to something, or if I'm going too slow or too fast, just chime in and let me know, and I will stop. Okay? But now I've decided that I want to add a background to my slide. So if we go back, we see our slide is just with a white plain background, but I want to add some color to that to give it a little bit of extra oomph. So here we are. I've gone back over to my tools and I've clicked on the background screen. It's going to give me different options. Do I want to use a template for my background? Do I just want to change the color? Do I want to upload my own image for a background? Okay, but for this instance, I just wanted to use a color. So I clicked on one of the gray colors and boom, automatic, there it is. Our slide now has color. Okay, so let's get into the action of our video, of our slides. All right, so down at the bottom of each slide, you have an opportunity to say when you want certain things to appear. So in this instance, we have, looks like 10 seconds for this slide. For the free Powtoons, each slide can be as much as 20 seconds, and that's the cap. Okay, if you want it to be longer, you have to pay for that subscription. So our cap is 20 seconds or below. Okay, it has to be at least 1 second to be a slide. And you have, within that time frame, within those seconds, you build your animation, okay, when you want it to appear in your screen. So when our slide starts, it's going to start with a blank screen for, you know, up to 1 second, and then the laptop is going to appear. At the 2 second mark, you're going to see that first set of words that I put in there. That's going to appear, okay? As we move along, each of these other words are going to appear. So they pop up in the video like a little, as if you can see my hand, it pops up as a train almost, you know, each little piece coming at you separately. And that's how it adds some of the animation, okay? If we look at number if we look at, it's at the 3.5-second mark, you'll notice that there's 2 images. Okay, so it's blue, and it's telling me that I have 2 images that populate at the exact same time. And those 2 images happen to be this template. Okay, so it's going to show us that the bubbles are going to appear, but also the words inside the bubbles are going to appear. But let's say I wanted my bubbles to appear first and then my words to appear. Well, highlighting our little block that says 2, I can drag one of these away. Okay, so let's say I wanted my words to appear after the bubble. I could just click on this, on the words square, and I can move it, and I just drag it to any part within the frame that I want it to be in. If I wanted it to be before the circle, I could move it down here if I wanted to. Okay, I could add it to something else. So let's say I wanted it easy so far, yes. I could add the liquid swords to easy so far, yes. And so they would both appear at the same time. All right. I can, using these arrows, that's how I would increase or decrease the timing on my slide. So like I said, we can go up to 20 seconds. Okay, talking about background and aesthetics. As I said before, we can upload our own background. Okay, so I just clicked on my image. Let's go back to one that has a tool here. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go, the tools. I want to upload my background. So I clicked on background. I'm going to go ahead and upload my background. And when I click on that, it's going to take us to, we have to go back through the action. I'm sorry for the recording. All right, here we go. I uploaded the image from one of my photos, okay? And so just so everyone knows, it is currently Leo season, so that's why I did go with the Leo image. So we're upgrading uploading our background. We can also upload videos, okay? You can upload your own video. With this image, I can decide how I want that image to appear. Do I want it to fan in? I think I chose for our image to come in, it cuts it in half and it comes in 2 different directions, okay? I can also stylize it. So when it's, you know, I can have the little helping hands come in at the beginning or the end. I can have it end as a clipboard or end as TV noise, and I think that's what I did. I added TV noise to it. And so when we actually see the video live, you'll see that this slide will end with some TV static, indicating that it's moving on to the next slide. All right. Putting it all together, now we're just going to review our presentation, okay? I went back up to the first slide, and you don't have to go to the first slide. You can do it from any slide. But I went back up to the first slide, and I want to add music, okay? I can add music or I can add a voiceover, all right? And I can do that for just one slide, or I can do it for the whole presentation. For right now, I'm going to add music to the whole presentation, okay? And so I click on that. In order to get this dialog box to appear, I forgot to mention there's a little speaker right here on your slides. Okay, it's on every slide. You just click on the speaker, this dialog box will appear, and then we can click on Add Music. When we add music, okay, we'll want to click on the little music symbol, and it's going to give us, you know, we can click on this link here. It's going to give us some free sounds. We can search for a sound. We can search for a song. It gives us different categories of songs to choose from. It gives us a list of background music to choose from as well. So there's so many different options. You can even upload your own music. If you want to upload your own music, you can certainly do that. All right. For our video creation, I just chose this digital marketing little tune. Okay, and that's going to be added to our entire video. All right, so let's say I wanted to add a voiceover. So see here, I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, trying not to, but it's added our music to our video, to the entire length of our video. I can also cut that if I want to. I can do it for only a couple of slides if I want to. I can add a voiceover, and I can do a voiceover for the entire video, or I can do a voiceover for just one slide, okay? And so if I wanted to do a voiceover for one slide, I just click on that. This little dialog box appears. I can start recording. I can upload, okay? If I use any of these other features here, that's through the free subscription, you can do that too. They try to make it as user-friendly as possible for something that is layered, okay? And everything in Powtoons is layered on top of each other. Oh my goodness, someone is at my door. That's really odd. So from here, we can, upload pictures as well. I said that before. We can upload pictures. And so what I did was I just went to the images icon in my tools, and I said upload. Okay, and it took it straight from my computer saved images, which is the image I use for work. I could also use, an image from Facebook. I can take a picture live if I wanted to. It can do all of that, and then I just move it around. Like I said, it's going to show up in the middle. We just move it to where we want it, okay? All right, so now we're at a point where we've done all of our layering, we've done all of our slides, we've completed our music, we've completed our, everything that we want to do to this video to make it fun and exciting and informational for our families. Okay, so now we're going to turn it into an actual video from the slides that we've created. So what we want to do is we're going to go to the top right corner, and it's going to say preview and upload. Okay, so we want to click on that tab. And this is kind of, this is the preview. You can actually watch your video in action, okay? And when you have decided that it looks great, we're going to go ahead and we're going to upload, okay? You can also go back if you decide that there's something in there that's not working right for you, or you don't like where you placed it. You can go back and edit it, okay? But we've decided that everything is perfect, and we're going to upload it. And it's going to ask us where we want to upload it. Now, keep in mind, there are certain things that are not available to us, remember, because this is a free subscription. So certainly you have a lot more benefits, a lot more options when you pay for it, but we have everything we need, honestly, in the free portion of Powtoons, okay? So I'm going to upload to my YouTube channel. From there, it's going to ask me what YouTube channel do I want to upload it to, okay? And as you can see, I have a couple here. We can add more if I needed to, but I'm going to go ahead and add it to my FAST YouTube channel, and it's going to be public. You'll see that we have an option to make it private, but only if you pay for the subscription. Honestly, I don't even know why they ask us that, but there it is. And then we're going to click on Next. From there, we have our title, and we can add more descriptors if we want, or tags. We can choose the category. Is it education? Is it business? Is it marketing? We choose what we want to add it as. And then again, we're going to decide if it's public or unlisted. And you'll notice that the unlisted is locked. Okay, that's only if you're paying for it. So everything that we create in Powtoons, once we upload it to YouTube, it is going to be, you know, a public, anything that's a public search. And we'll click on next. All right, and again, we have different options. We are always going to be showing the branding of Powtoon, so it's always going to end the video with that little Powtoon image. We can't hide that unless we pay for it. We do have two options as free users, and I always choose the high def quality. Okay, and then upload my Powtoon. All right, so now it's in the process of uploading. It's giving me a message that says, you know, my Powtoon is published, and once it is completely uploaded to YouTube, they'll send me an email letting me know that it has been uploaded. Okay, it has the date, it has the time, the title, who it, you know, has my name on it. If I need to go back and edit it, I can go back in and click on edit and go back. Okay. And then there's other options, publish options. You know, if we wanted to publish it on another free, you know, maybe we wanted to publish it to Facebook as well. So we have our AZVA Facebook accounts. We could publish it there if we wanted to. Okay. All right, so this is our video that we have created together in this presentation. So let's check it out and see what we have. And remember, I said that I uploaded a video within the middle of the presentation as well, or the video. So video within a video. This is the video that I So this is the video that I and I just uploaded it into the middle of and that was our video that we created together. And that's the end. All right. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and we can talk about it. Oh my gosh, there's like 15 chats. I'm sorry. Okay. Sticker. There's a sticker. What are we talking about? Pause recording.
I think when you had your doorbell go off, she was telling you you could pause the recording. That way it would be easier for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it was a delivery package. I just kind of ignored it and kept going.
Okay, that's okay. It happens.
Sorry.
Yeah, and the sticker, that's kind of what I was thinking was is the image, the words you were looking for, instead of it being like an electronic image, they call them stickers.
Okay.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay. Well, that's good to know too. I think I finally came up with the word graphic image.
Yes.
So, but what do you think? Did you think the training was too much, too little? Could you follow it easily? Could anyone follow it if they weren't, here and just watching the recording?
Yeah, I actually, I've done Powtoon before, but I was in my Powtoon and I was creating one at the same time you were. So I was
Okay.
able to follow each and every step.
Cool.
And you showed some things that I kind of took me a little time to figure out where things were originally. So I think that's going to save time for anybody watching the recording.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm essentially self-taught with Powtoons, and I spent a few hours learning all the different, tips and tricks, and I even learned a couple things when I was putting this together. So it's always, a learning process, and I wanted to make it as simple as possible, streamline it, so you know exactly where to go, how to do it, because to me, when I first got into Powtoons, it was very overwhelming, especially because everything is layered, and that is very overwhelming, especially if you're not used to a program like this, or do any kind of layering before. And if you don't consider yourself to be a creative type person, the layering is going to get out of control really fast, in my opinion, and overwhelming to the point where one just walks away and says, done, can't do it, won't do it, don't have time for this. And so hopefully, that's what I was trying to do. I know there were a lot of slides, but I just wanted to make it as user-friendly as possible, so that people could to save time, like you just said, Miss Bonnie, and, figure out what it is they're doing. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. So I guess from these presentations, everyone needs to do a little bit of a homework, and I'm thinking probably 3 to 5 slides would be sufficient. So for anyone who's watching the recording, if you have not created a Powtoons account, go ahead and do so. And then just create 3 to 5 slides, do an introduction slide. You can use your templates. Try using at least one slide where you are completely creating the whole thing without using the template. Try uploading different things and different images and whatever you want to do to make it you, which is what the video is all about, then definitely do so, and maybe add something, for your K-5 students, like a welcome, welcome to my advisor classroom kind of a thing, and go from there. And then upload it and share it with us. I'm so excited to see what you all create. So that's it. That's what I have, unless you all have questions.
I don't have any questions, but I am glad you did this because I see your Powtoons and Kimberly's Powtoon, everybody else's. I haven't jumped in the pool and done anything with it yet, so this will help me get that started. So I created my account while you were doing your presentation earlier, so I went into that. So at least the first step.
Yeah, that's the first step. I love it. And I'll share the recording, and I even have all of these slides in. So it's kind of funny. It kind of became a running joke with us at one of our meetings where, I said that I'm doing my Powtoon presentation in Prezi, and then Daisha was going to do her presentation in another program, and it just kind of spiraled, and it was really kind of funny. But I actually did all of these slides in PowerPoint, and when Liz does the Prezi presentation, how-to presentation, she'll show you that you can upload PowerPoint into Prezi. And I think I said in the beginning that we will eventually be able to upload PowerPoint slides into Powtoons, but I can also share my PowerPoint slides if it will make it easy to have that kind of something that you could print out if you need to just kind of go step by step as well, because printouts always help me. I'm an image, I have to see it and touch it kind of person. So it's all going to be available to you and to anyone else out there watching the recording. otherwise, that's what I have, ladies. Any other comments or questions? Anything you feel like needs to be touched on that I didn't touch on, or I need to go into more detail about?
Nope, looks great.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today. And this was a lot of fun for me. And I'm excited to see what you all send out for your homework. All right. Thank you. All right. Bye, ladies.